Hey guys, how's it going? How's your beautiful day going on this beautiful day? Today I am ranking all 32 quarterbacks in the NFL this year. The criteria for this list is you have to be named as the starter. So you have to be like who the organization has put their hands in. So if there's a guy who's injured who is the guy, then he's obviously going to be ranked over the backup who maybe played more than the starter did. But enough of the rules. Let's get to the list. At number 32, we have Brady Cook. He's just not a real starter. He wasn't really good in the minutes that he played. In the minutes that he played, I'm talking like this is an NBA. In the games that he played and the snaps that he played, he just did not look like a real NFL quarterback. And I think we can all understand that. He put up 11 for 22 for 60 yards against the Bills in the last game of the season, who were sitting a lot of people. That defense isn't good, and they were, like I said, they were sitting people already. So he should have been able to score more than 8 points on offense. At number 31, I have JJ McCarthy. I've said it all season. Anytime I've seen him play, he just doesn't look like a real quarterback out there. His throwing motion doesn't look normal for a regular quarterback in the NFL, and maybe I'm nitpicking a little bit too much. He's just not a real quarterback to me. At number 30, I have Shedeur Sanders. He has some talent. He really does. He has some arm talent. I think his athleticism is underrated, and he has a chance to be a real quarterback in the NFL. He just has a problem with his decision making. He processes the field a little too slow. Sometimes he makes the most boneheaded interceptions you'll ever see by a player in the history of the NFL, and it's just ridiculous, like running to his left, chucking it up to his right, thinking that anything's going to happen, you know. If he can fix those things and be able to be a better processor on the field, I really think he has a shot to be a real quarterback in the NFL. At number 29, I have Geno Smith. He is not at all the guy that the Raiders thought that they were going to get from the Seahawks. He was genuinely playing at an elite tier when he was in Seattle, comes over to Las Vegas, and he has looked like the Jets version of himself, turning the ball over, not reading the field well whatsoever. Taking sacks more than he should. He just was absolutely horrible this season. At number 28, I have Tua Tagovailoa. He's just not the guy he once was, and I mean, he wasn't really ever a guy. The one thing he was able to hang his hat on at one point in his career was that he had the mind for it. But now I think all of those concussions are really getting to him. He's a slower processor on the field, and the processing part of him was really the only thing. That was his holy grail. That was the only reason he was really a good football player, and he doesn't even have that anymore. He's just a terrible quarterback, in my opinion. At number 27, I have Michael Penix. Overall, we haven't seen a lot of him, but what I have seen hasn't been the most interesting, hasn't been the most jaw-dropping. He's had a few good performances, don't get me wrong. I think he has a strong arm and he can whip the ball whenever he needs to. I don't think that he has the touch. I don't think that his athleticism is anything special. I don't think he processes the field necessarily well either. I just don't think he's that amazing of a quarterback right now from what we've seen. But I think there is a chance that he could get better. Now he's torn his ACL. He was already one of the oldest prospects ever. It's just I'm not seeing much from Michael Penix. At number 26, I have Bryce Young. I think that he is a special leader. I think that's something that he's really grown within his game, and they've been able to make the playoffs and beat some good teams so far this season. And I think that's his best part. He's been really good at becoming a game manager and getting the ball to his best players, but I don't think that he is a guy for a franchise. He just doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have the overall athleticism. He doesn't have the processing of the field. There's just so much missing there from Bryce Young. I don't think he's necessarily good at anything except for leadership. He just leaves a lot to be desired on the field, unfortunately. I love Bryce Young as a person. I think that he can be a solid backup for his career. I just don't know about him being the guy for an organization. At number 25, I have Tyler Shuck. Coming in, I really didn't think that it was a good draft choice. I didn't see a lot in Shuck, but he has played way better than I ever expected him to. He isn't turning the ball over. They were able to win a lot of games at the end of this season. Like, they were on a roll at the end of this season. Unfortunately, they lost the last game of the season anyway, but still, I think Tyler Shuck showed a lot more than anybody gave him credit for so far this season. That being said, I don't think he's better than anybody ahead of him just yet, but he has the potential to, and I have the faith in him to get there. At number 24, I have Daniel Jones. I think he started the season off on a really, really hot streak. Even before he had to leave with the Achilles injury, he was just continuing to go on a downward spiral. Even before that fibula injury or whatever that other injury was that he also had, he broke before he tore his Achilles. He just was continuing to start turning the ball over more, make worse decisions, and overall turn into the quarterback that we once thought that he actually was. I think Daniel Jones is a good system quarterback, and he can run a system really well. He's not the answer for an organization. I think he's just kind of a bridge quarterback or a career really good backup for any team that needs him. At number 23, I had Cam Ward. The statistics do not love Cam Ward whatsoever. His rookie year, like I said, statistically, his rookie year was one of the worst quarterback rookie seasons ever, but I also think he was drafted into the worst rookie situation ever, and he was drafted at number 1. That shows you how bad the Titans organization over there. They had terrible coaching. Their weapons on that team, like their number 1 wide receiver ended up being Shamir DK. Good for DK. I mean, he played good this season, played himself into maybe a real role in this offense coming forward, but that should not be your number 1 wide receiver. The offensive line is not very good, and you invested a lot of money into it. The run game was not very stable, and you invested a lot of money into it with the offensive line and Tony Pollard making a lot of money. They just are not a good team whatsoever, but he has outshined everybody on that team. He's been the best, most electric part of that team. Anytime you watch him, it seems like he's trying to make a play. And yeah, the stats won't show, but if you watch the film, Cam Ward is one of them. He is a guy. The Titans do not need to be looking for a quarterback anytime soon. At number 22, I had Jackson Dart. I put him above Cam Ward because I thought his rookie season was better, but I think Cam Ward has a lot more potential. But Jackson Dart has outlived any expectation for him this season. A lot of people didn't like that they traded up for him. A lot of people didn't like that they drafted him in general. A lot of people just did not have faith in Jackson Dart whatsoever. And throughout this season, he's just shown such poise in the pocket, great arm strength as well. I think he has a lot of things to look forward to himself. And he just seems like a star in the making because he can make any play on the football field, and he does better than a lot of players in the league right now. At number 21, I have Kyler Murray. I don't know about the era of Kyler Murray. Unfortunately, I think it may be over. I just don't think that his height is good enough right now. He doesn't use his athleticism as much as I think he should. I think he needs to use it a lot more because it can help him not only in the run game for that team, but in the pass game. The pass game really could use his threat to run, and it seems like he's trying to be more of a pocket passer, and I just don't think that that's going to work for him. He's a smaller quarterback. The pocket passing is just not something that he needs to super focus on. Obviously, he needs to be good at it, or he needs to be serviceable at it, but he's just not. You need to be able to use that athleticism, especially if you can't do it that other way, and I just don't think that he can. At number 20, I have Aaron Rodgers. I think that he is the best part of that offense by far. I think he has carried this team to the point that they're at right now, but I still think that his lack of mobility is just so much harder on him as a quarterback. It's so much harder on this offense to be able to operate the way that they want to, just because most of this offense is basically get it to your skill positions and have them make plays, and every once in a while we'll throw a shot down the sideline because we know we have playmakers that can make the catch. It's not a lot of intermediate offense, and that's really a thing that you need, especially in today's NFL, and Aaron Rodgers just can't do that anymore because of his blatant lack of mobility anymore. At number 19, I have Baker Mayfield. I think Baker started off the season really well. He was up near the top 10. I think he's dropped back to the guy that he always was. That's just a really serviceable quarterback. I think that his career should face more towards a Ryan Fitzpatrick type of era than anything else, because I think that he can do that. He can have some magic seasons, and he has the electricity. Like, he's one of the most electric football players in the NFL right now, and I am never going to take that away from him. But when it comes to actually winning a championship, actually having a franchise quarterback, I don't think that is Baker Mayfield caliber. He has a lack of just processing in the pocket. His downfield accuracy is just not good enough, and it started off really well this season, which is why he was in the MVP race for 6 weeks. But when it dropped off really, really bad, and even when they were able to get healthy, they still couldn't win games, and they still couldn't get the ball downfield effectively and efficiently. And it was mostly because of Baker Mayfield leaving yards on the table. One of the most electric quarterbacks and players in the NFL. Unfortunately, that's all he really is. At number 18, we have Jared Goff. He is just not the guy. He has his elite moments, but those elite moments always come in games that don't matter that much. He's always only really been as good as his run game is. If you're able to slow down a Jared Goff team in the run game, then you're probably 9 times out of 10, probably even 10 times out of 10 going to be able to beat that team, because he's not going to be able to beat you with his arm. And I just don't think he is a franchise guy. I don't think he's a guy that you look at and be like, yeah, we can win our franchise with. He's not going to be getting better at this point in his career. I think that right now the Lions are especially in a dead end right now because they have a quarterback that's not going to get them over the hump, but their team is good enough to make them contenders sometimes in some years. This year, they didn't even make the playoffs. They have the talent around him to make this team seem like they might be a contender. Overall, they're never really going to be, because they have Jared Goff. And until they get rid of him, I don't know how far this team is really going to go. At number 17, I have Bo Nix. He is up this high because of his it factor. He has it, which is a thing that a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL, I could say probably 80% of this list do not have it. Bo Nix has it. When the pressure is at its highest, he plays his best football every single time. When the pressure is at its highest, I have rarely ever seen Bo Nix not step up to the plate and make play after play whenever he needs to. Bo, on a down-to-down basis, has struggles that I wish he would be better at, but it comes with pocket presence and his footwork. It's not physical attributes that he lacks. He has the athleticism, he has the height, he definitely has the arm strength, no matter what people tell you. I hear some people say he's a limited passer, and that just doesn't make sense to me, because if you've watched Bo Nix on film this season, he can make any throw on the football field. It's just a matter of, can he get his mechanics down to maximize the talent that he has? But he has all the talent that you need for a quarterback that you want to be your franchise. At number 16, I have CJ Stroud. He's really moved down my list recently. He's just not consistent. He hasn't been able to move the ball a lot. I understand this offensive line is one of the worst units in the league. It's just absolutely atrocious. It's not functional whatsoever. But at the same time, CJ Stroud has been a major issue this year, leaving yards on the table, leaving plays on the table, and he always has the superstar moments. This is kind of like what we had with Trevor Lawrence for a long time, where he had the superstar moments, but he couldn't be consistent enough to keep it up. That's what we have with CJ Stroud right now. He has the superstar moments, but he doesn't do it consistently enough to be a top 15 quarterback right now. At number 15, we have Caleb Williams. He has really been so good this season. I think the most important thing to come out of this season so far and his development with Ben Johnson is his ability to play under center. A lot of his career has always been tainted by the fact that people don't know how good he can play under center. He hasn't always been the best under center cornerback. At USC, he played a lot of gun. I mean, all through his college career, he played a lot of gun. Last year, he played a lot of gun. And this year, Ben Johnson has forced him to go under center, and he has taken the challenge, and he has played so well. He has some accuracy issues that he needs to definitely fine-tune. He needs to be better. His downfield accuracy has been way better this year. His processing of the field has been way better. His ability to not take sacks has been a million times better. With his escapability is just through the roof. And he's also, like I said before, processing the field way better, so he's able to get the ball out sooner. He's just been in all of the things that you have worries about with Caleb Williams, especially after how his rookie season went. He's got better at every single thing this season. That's why he's at my number 15 spot right now. At number 14, we have Brock Purdy. Recently, he's just played so well in that system. Obviously, the last game of the year against the Seahawks was not a great showing, but overall, the Seahawks defense is really good. Brock Purdy has played amazing football as of recent. He always fluctuates on the list. He goes from the up near 10, down to 20, down to whatever. Right now, he's at 14. I think that he is with all of the injuries that always happen around this team, I think Brock Purdy is a equalizer. He's been able to run this offense very well. And obviously, Mac Jones came in and ran this offense. But since Brock Purdy has come back, I think this offense hit another stride. They hit another level because of his ability. He is actually a great playmaker, in my opinion. I think he throws well on the run. I think he has good arm strength. I think he has some accuracy issues, but he has arm strength. He has athleticism, and I think he's a good game managing quarterback. At number 13, we have Sam Darnold. He's starting to play better in those big game situations, which is really good because that was the only thing really holding him back anymore. He's shown the talent in the past couple years now. He's been able to show the athleticism in previous years, and he still has the athleticism. He has the arm strength. He's just had to put together the clutch moments. This year, he's put together a lot of clutch moments. He's obviously had his issues. Against the Rams the first time when he threw 4 picks. In the first half against the Rams the second time when he threw 2 picks. He's had his issues. But then, last game of the season, he did not turn the ball over, and that's the best thing you could see from Sam Darnold. There's still the issue of, can he keep this up? Will he do this in the playoffs? But we'll see later. Right now, he looks like a very decent quarterback, solidified in the top 15 at my 13 spot. At number 12, I have Jalen Hurts. I think a lot of Kevin Patullo kind of grade this season for Jalen Hurts. I think he had his own issues for sure. He definitely has his own issues. He's not a good quarterback against zone coverage. He just is not a great processor of the field. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of it, again, had to do with how Kevin Patullo was calling this offense all year and how he has called it all year. The offensive line has also been a lot worse than it normally is, so he's not used to having to really process the field as fast because he used to be able to just kind of sit back and wait and see if somebody comes open, and he can't really do that anymore. He has to make a play, and I think he kind of struggles with that, which is why he can't be in the top 10 right now. At number 11, we have Dak Prescott. I think he is really talented. I think he is good at a lot of things at quarterback. He's a great processor of the field. He has good athleticism and arm strength. He's able to make any throw on the field. He's a great pocket maneuverer. He's great at not taking sacks as well. He's kind of great at basically everything there is at quarterback. I just don't think he's necessarily elite at anything either. I think he's just great at everything. Jack of all, master of none type of guy. At number 10, I have Jaden Daniels. I have to respect his rookie season, and he wasn't bad when he was in the game this season. He just has all the talent in the world. There's no reason for me to take him out of my top 10 just because he was injured this season. And when he was in, they did lose games as well, but a lot of his team was injured, and the supporting cast is just not nearly as good as you'd want it to be, especially besides such a good talent like Jaden Daniels is. I'm not going to take him out of my top 10 just because he was injured all this season. I think he's still a fantastic quarterback, a fantastic talent. I can't wait to see what he does next year. Hopefully the Commanders can make some moves on the roster. At number 9, I have Trevor Lawrence. These past, 10 weeks of the season of Trevor Lawrence have been on another world. They've been top 3 quarterback worthy. They've been MVP caliber worthy. I just can't push that aside. He's been amazing. He's been consistent. In the games where they've needed him, he showed up. He's been the guy. And hey, he can move down. If he plays in the playoffs and goes at home, plays the Bills and stinks up the place, you better believe he's being taken out of my top 15 probably, because the consistency is huge. If he immediately shows me that he can't be consistent in a big time moment, then like I said, he's getting taken out of the top 15, because the only reason he's up here right now is because he's being consistent right now. And he's going to keep climbing if he continues to play as consistently well as he's been playing recently. At number 8, I have Jordan Love. He's just such an efficient quarterback. I don't really understand how people think that he's overrated. I don't know if people watch him. Like, I understand there are some plays where Jordan Love just makes the most boneheaded mistake of all time, and it looks really bad. And I think people see that and see those one plays out of the rest of the game and kind of take that for what Jordan Love is. And if you just watch him throughout the rest of the game, he's just really good at everything as well. He's kind of like a Dak Prescott, except his accuracy is elite. He is one of the most elite ball placement players in all of football. He's just able to put it, and his arm talent is through the roof. He throws basically all of his passes off his back foot, and he's still able to make any throw on the football field. He just has a rocket of an arm. He has athleticism he doesn't need to use, but he's a great pocket passer. But if he needs to use his speed, he can. I just think he is a really, really good quarterback, and I almost am starting to think he might be a little underrated because people think he's overrated for whatever reason, and that doesn't compute. At number 7, I have Matthew Stafford. I know he's in the MVP race this season, but overall, as a playmaker, he's just not all that. I think that he has one of the best supporting casts in the league right now. His defense is really good. His run game is really good. His offensive line has been really good. He has probably the best wide receiver core or wide receiver duo in the league. I think his tight ends are solid, and his coach is one of the best in the league. Sean McVay is a really good mind in the NFL right now, but he is still dicing people up. He's still had an MVP caliber season. He's been able to play so well. He probably just had the best season of his career, and he's 37 years old. So props to him for being in the top 7. At number 6, I have Justin Herbert. He's another world talent. He's on another planet. He's an alien. He's everything you want as a quarterback. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that if you put a quarterback, or if you tried to lab up a quarterback, it would look like Justin Herbert, and he would have the talent of Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert might be a top 3 talented quarterback. If not, he might be the most talented quarterback in the NFL because there is not a single thing he can't do. He's a great improviser as well, and I've heard some people try and bash on his ability to improvise in moments where he's needed, and I just don't understand that either. I think he's a fantastic improviser as well. If he was able to win more, if he's won a playoff game by now, he's probably in the top 5. He's probably in the top 3. He has the talent. We just need to see him put it all together and win in the playoffs. And unfortunately, it's probably not even going to happen this year because of how banged up that team is right now. And maybe they can. I'm not going to say that they can't beat the Patriots, but unfortunately, he just has to play the 2 seed. At number 5, I have Joe Burrow. He just performs so well every time he's in the game, and I'm a little biased with him. I don't really care. He's been able to make it to a Super Bowl in his career, and anytime he's in the game, his offense is the best offense in the NFL. It is. And I understand that they have probably one of the better infrastructures because they have good tight ends. Obviously, one of the better wide receiver cores in the league with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. I understand all that. But I think that Joe Burrow is just very talented. He's just solidified as one of those guys. He's one of the best in the league. He's able to process the field really well. He's the best pre-snap quarterback in the league. He's a good playmaker when you need him to be. I just think he's a really fantastic quarterback, and he's number 5. At number 4, I have Lamar Jackson. A down year for sure this year, but he's still a 2-time MVP. And in the last game of the season, I think he showed us more of how good of a quarterback he is. I think he's had so many struggles this year because of injuries. If it weren't for injuries before actually his first injury of the season, he was still performing at an MVP rate. Then he gets his first injury of the season. He's just injury riddled through the rest of the entire NFL season, and he just never looks the same. And I just think that he is still a fantastic quarterback and still one of the 4 best in the league. At number 3, I have Drake May. Again, there is absolutely nothing that Drake May can't do. His schedule may have been easy. I don't care that his schedule is easy considering how good he was. He is the lifeblood of this team. If Drake May wasn't on this team, it's probably not a playoff team. The offense, I don't think. The run game, they just can't. It's not very good. Obviously, this week, they did pretty good against the Dolphins, but overall, the run game is just not very good. I don't think the weapons are very good because your wide receiver 2 is Matt Collins, and your wide receiver 1 is older wide receiver coming off of an ACL injury, Stephon Diggs. I think Kayshon Boutte is a great piece, and I think Hunter Henry is a great piece, but overall, the offensive line isn't even that amazing either. The Patriots overall as an infrastructure, as a team, are just not amazing, and they're 14-3 because Drake May just doesn't miss. He's the most accurate quarterback in the league right now, has the best completion percentage. He's going to win MVP this season, his first of his career, and it might be the first of many. At number 2, we have Josh Allen. Josh is just, I mean, he has the arm. He does need to be better in some high pressure situations. Earlier in this season, I think he had some real stinkers when he really needed to be good. But I think that he has one of the worst wide receiver rooms in the entire National Football League. Not just his division, or not just like one of the worst. It might be the worst. I don't think that Khalil Shakir being a number one wide receiver is good at all. I honestly feel like he might be closer to a wide receiver 3 than he is to a wide receiver 1. But their tight ends are good. They have the leading rusher in the NFL, which is why they are so high-powered offensively, and those are things that I should take into account. But overall, Josh Allen, he can do anything on the field, and he has all of the arm talent in the world, the most athletic quarterback in the NFL. He's got everything. Josh Allen is my second best quarterback in the NFL. And at number 1, it's Patrick Mahomes, and it will probably be Patrick Mahomes until he retires. I do not care what I've seen from him in the past few years, maybe. I think that a lot of it is skewed. I think he has one of the worst situations in football, if I'm being really honest with you. I don't think Andy Reid is that great of a play caller anymore. I think he has a lot of issues with thinking he can call the same offense that he called when they won Super Bowls. They just can't do that anymore. They have a non-existent run game. Their best wide receiver is Rashee Rice, and behind that, it's a bunch of guys that struggle to stay on other teams. Travis Kelce is obviously not the same guy he was. The offensive line has been terrible for years. It's just not been a good unit. And the defense has been okay, but it hasn't been great. Patrick Mahomes is the only reason that this team was okay. Patrick Mahomes was the only reason this team was even threatening teams earlier. This team may be underperforming, but Patrick Mahomes is absolutely not the reason why. He is still the best quarterback in the NFL. He is still the best at probably every attribute there is at the quarterback position. I mean, besides athletic. He's got the best arm, without a doubt. He's got the best improvisation, and we'll see coming off of his injury, but he's still a very athletic guy, and he was leading the Chiefs in rushing for like the first 5 weeks of the season. He's got everything you need in a quarterback, and he is absolutely still the best quarterback in the NFL. All right, that was me ranking all 32 quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm sure that I pissed a lot of people off, and that's totally okay. Tell me how stupid I am in the comments. You're not going to change my opinion. Well, maybe you will. Maybe you will. Try and change my opinion. But leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this. There's going to be more ranking videos. Just stay tuned. I will see you guys in the next one.